Any normal person wants to live longer and better, not less and worse. But we have all heard from a large number of doctors and scientists about how to prolong our lives, and some of these tips are very contradictory to each other. Have you ever wondered why, for example, in some countries people live an average of 50 years, and in other countries, if you are 90 years old, it will not even surprise anyone? What are these people doing? Maybe they're eating something special. Do they have a special lifestyle? Maybe they have some kind of special psychological attitude. Someone says it's all about genetics, and you shouldn't even try to change something. In fact, recent research by scientists shows that genetics affects life expectancy by only 10%, and our lifestyle affects 90%. So what are the real reasons that really affect? How to figure it all out? Watch this video to the end and you'll learn how to live up to 100 years and what exactly you need to do for this. In the beginning, it is worth mentioning about such a thing as blue zones. These are places in the world where people live to be 100 years old and stay healthy. There are 5 such places on the planet. These are the island of Sardinia in Italy, the province of Okinawa in Japan, the settlement of Loma Linda in California, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, and the island of Korea in Greece. For some reason, people in these places really live for a very long time and their health is in very good condition. For example, Okinawa in Japan has the largest number of people over 100 years old. The average life expectancy of a woman in Okinawa is 86 years. That is, if a woman is 90 years old there, then it is considered unsurprising among the locals. In the rest of the above places, people live about the same amount. Scientists have conducted a very large-scale study to understand what causes actually contribute to such longevity, and they have identified a number of features that unite all these places. Now we will sort them out with you. So, what reasons actually contribute to such longevity in these places? First, moderate physical activity. All these people walk a lot and work with their hands. We have all heard that physical inactivity is a very big problem of the 21st century. It can lead to diabetes, strokes, cancer, problems of the cardiovascular system. In general, physical inactivity really significantly reduces our life expectancy. Thus, residents of these provinces are very much engaged in moderate physical activity. For example, in mountainous areas they graze sheep, or walk in the fields, or engage in some kind of agricultural activity. There is even a general recommendation from the World Health Organization that anyone should do about 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of intense exercise during the week. What is a moderate load? This is, for example, a walk in the park at a more or less fast pace. Intensive exercise is already training on simulators, with weights, kettlebells, aerobic loads and so on. You can mix it and combine it. The second factor that unites centenarians is a minimum of haste and psychological stress. Yes, they live a measured, calm and harmonious life, without fuss. In addition, they are all united by regular relaxation during the day. For some it may be prayer, for some it is meditation, for others it is some kind of relaxing ritual. Surely you have heard the expression that all diseases come from nerves. Indeed, a lot of problems arise from nerves. Therefore, it is worth taking care of your psychological state. The third factor that unites centenarians is the system of social relations. Oddly enough, it also has a very strong impact on life expectancy and human health. There are practically no lonely people in the blue zones. They are all united by some idea and worldview. They all have very strong social ties, communicate with their peers for a very long time and deeply, and can be friends for decades in a row. Scientists have proven that the feeling of loneliness and isolation from society really shortens life and causes many diseases, because it is very stressful. Fourth, diet and nutrition in the blue zones. They all eat very differently. Scientists have identified only 2 patterns that are unambiguously tracked in these places. The first is the presence of a large amount of plant foods in the diet, and the second is not to overeat. For example, In Japan it is considered normal to get up from the table with a slight feeling of hunger. Fifth, this is the consumption of the required amount of fluid per day. Try to drink 1.5 to 2 liters of water a day. Water is a universal solvent that helps to cope with many problems. In addition, it is necessary to consume 1.5 to 2 liters of clean water. Juice, coffee, tea and other beverages are not taken into account. Water is an excellent remedy for both pressure and problems with the gastrointestinal tract and many other diseases. Sixth, consume as little refined sugar as possible. Instead, it is better to use either fruit or, for example, honey, or unrefined sugar. The problem with refined sugar is that it has very little biological value. We get a lot of calories from it, but the necessary trace elements are almost zero. Seventh, minimize the consumption of fried food. Firstly, fried foods are much more high in calories. Besides, fried food is a very heavy load on the liver, and it is also a carcinogen. Eighth, keep an eye on vitamin D levels. It is known that vitamin D deficiency can lead to very big problems, such as rickets, multiple sclerosis, and so on. It is also known that we get a large amount of vitamin D from the sun, so this factor especially concerns those people who rarely go out in the sun or live in those climatic norms where there is little sun in general. You can take an analysis for the level of vitamins. Perhaps there are not enough other vitamins in your body, which also has a negative effect on health and well-being. Ninth, take care of your teeth. Brush your teeth at least 2 times a day. Also pay attention to the correct technique of brushing your teeth. They need to be cleaned by moving from the top of the tooth to the bottom. If you clean the other way around, then all the food will accumulate between the gums and teeth. Over time, these clusters begin to rot, which causes various diseases of the oral cavity. Moreover, these microbes can enter our body by being absorbed through the blood. Therefore, keep in mind that an infection on the teeth can easily be transmitted to your internal organs. 10th, high-quality sleep is the key to strong immunity and health of the whole body. Sleep enough time, but not less and not more than your norm. Chronic lack of sleep can lead to health problems, and overabundance of sleep similarly leads to a number of disorders of processes in the body. Friends, which recommendations from this list do you already follow? Share your opinion in the comments. If this video was useful for you, then you can share it with your friends, like it and subscribe to the channel.